sorry, let me ask you something. Do you believe that God is an idea? It's a metaphor. It's an idea.
God is not a metaphor, it's a spirit.
What is a
And
spirit?
when I say a spirit is something out of the physical, it's something you cannot see with the naked eyes. It is something that you put in the mind, that you see it with not the physical eyes, not with what it can be perceived physically, but it is in the spirit, the mind, where it is in something imaginary. That is where you can see God. That's where you can encounter God.
Okay, if it's a spirit,
I did not want to use that. I did not want to use that word imaginary, because imaginary has a lot of connotations to that extent. But I would like to say, like you're seated here, you quite have some thoughts, and you're thinking to a certain extent. So I would like to say God exists in that realm. So for you to understand, the part of you that is God is a part of you that is used in thought, the part of you used in creativity, the part of you. But we have been trying to disconnect ourselves from this imaginary part, and have been trying to push for everything, that everything must be shown and proved to exist to our own comprehension. That is where we get it all wrong about God. If we want to put everything, that God is absolutely responsible, there are parameters for every system to function. There are laws for every system to function. There are laws God has set forth for us to respect, for everything to be able to function the way it is, like the wars, they are man's creation, the pandemics in the world. You see, there are parameters that we have to put in place. There are laws we have to respect. And there are things we are supposed to accomplish, because we are working with the mind of God. He inspires us that we should experience what that is in the spiritual, that we should experience it in the physical. It is due to these things. I know you're a scientist and you must have heard about metaphysics. Metaphysics is that kind of branch that helps us to say we are reasoning with the mind of God. We are using, we are trying to connect our intellect to the supernatural to be able to reason things beyond the physical and the physical understanding. So that is the part that deals with God.
Well, I'm a science student, by the way, not a scientist, but thank you. So you talked about metaphysics. You've mentioned these other things and stuff. There are some weird things that happen in at the quantum level, quantum physics. There are things that would blow your mind. Things like particles appearing and disappearing, passing through physical barrier. Maybe that's what you're trying to refer to as metaphysics, but that's something strange. So, but the idea that, okay, I want to ask you one question. Do you believe that man created God or God created man?
God created man.
God created
man. Did not create God.
So,
and man is seeking to understand God, and it is the interpretation of all what he has collected as data about God that is trying to give a picture of who God is, and it is misleading. That is where the confusion sets in.
If God created man, so which God is that? Is it the God of Abraham?
The universal God. God is one.
God
is one. The God that called Abraham was already there. People had already known him. He has called Abraham to reveal himself to Abraham in a particular way. So it is the experience that Abraham had with God that helps us to talk of the God of Abraham. And it's the same experience that the Muslims are sharing with the Christians today. The Jews are sharing with the Muslim and the Christians. These are the three branches of religion that are sprung from the Abrahamic God. But God is the same God, because when you go into other religious societies that existed before the coming of the Abrahamic religions, you will still find God. God, he has not a time frame that we start measuring how he came into existence, and there is no time frame that will measure that he go out of existence. We are the ones who are appearing and disappearing, and we are trying to give an understanding according to the way he reveals himself to different generations.
So